RusAme reader, Crow and today I will be reading to you from Rival Schools by Cake. But before we get into this chapter, I should inform you that there's going to be smut in this chapter. In the description, I intend to put a timestamp so that you can skip it. Now, let's get into the chapter. Chapter 4, Bored. Russia was staring at the ceiling, waiting for the nurse that had finally shown up to come back with his x-ray results. Russia had been transferred into a new room that had a couch. So America was obviously passed out since it was now around 3 a.m. Russia had called his dad about the problem and was then immediately informed that St. Victoria lost. Who would have guessed? Russia had given his phone to America so he wouldn't have to look at any of the texts his teammates were sending him. Thankfully, America was asleep, so that entire worry was cast away. Mr. Russia? Russia lowered his head to look at the nurse who had just walked in. She approached him holding papers, but didn't seem like she intended handing them to him. Your x-rays show that your ankle has not been sprained, but rather it's broken. It's severe enough to require surgery. So you should expect that in a few hours, we'll get a cast on you soon after that. You should expect to be discharged in a few days. Russia nodded, taking that few days as a week with how slow the hospital was. Apparently, they were short-staffed. The nurse left, and Russia leaned his head back once again. Good news? America murmured from his sleepy state, slowly sitting up. Niet, ankle is broken. Russia responded, sighing. He looked over at America, who had his head hung and a guilty face barely able to be seen. It'll be fine, though. It just gives me a reason not to go to school for a bit. Stay at home, you know? How do your parents think about your sister being lesbian? America asked, probably wanting to mask the guilt. Dad is fine with it. He even put our little sister into a public school, so that she doesn't have to be scared about herself in the future. I myself am gay, and he was pretty cool with it. Wait, really? Why do you think I don't have a girlfriend? Russia replied with a laugh, looking back up at the ceiling. And why I didn't tell you to fuck off when you kept calling me hot. I dunno, I'm not really that smart. I don't even know how I have a 4.0 GPA and valedictorian. I'm going, though. School ends in, 2-3 months? Cool that I can tell you you're hot whenever, though. Which you definitely are. Russia laughed. America ended up laughing as well, but Russia laughed for a very, very specific reason. America was probably the first guy other than Mongolia and his dad that was cool with his sexuality that he knew. Maybe because America was swinging that way too. But it was a relief. America stood up and sat in the chair next to Russia's bed, leaning back. Thanks for forgiving me. I know I keep apologizing, but I did not mean to do this. Literally, plan was to, suck your dick so you missed the game or some shit. It was a plan, huh? Make me miss the game anyways? Well, people really wanted that party, man. America reasoned, awkwardly fumbling with his hands. So, when's the blowjob? Russia asked quite cockily, probably actually hoping America would suck his dick. Oh, yeah. Russia quickly said he was joking when America started stuttering, but America didn't take it. He stood up and took a few steps till he was next to Russia's hips and looked over at him suggestively. Now, was all he said before he slipped Russia's sweatpants off, taking his boxers with them. Russia couldn't even be bothered to stop him. It was probably the only action he'd get till he left St. Victoria. America gently grabbed Russia's dick and spit on it, moving his hand up and down to lubricate it. Russia got hard pretty quick, so America leaned down and licked the tip before shoving Russia's entire dick down his throat. It most definitely did not fit. He bobbed his head up and down in a fast yet steady motion, leaving Russia to throw his head back and keep a hand on America's head, pushing him down further. "God, you're good," Russia mumbled, enjoying every bit of it. America was enjoying it as well, though he wasn't used to doing this at all, especially not with this size. He kept his rhythm the same still, giving Russia immense pleasure, yet he still somehow held back from taking control. Maybe he was too scared to hurt America. Russia didn't know. Maybe it was the fact that America was already so good doing it without any interference that any additional would fuck it all up. Maybe. Russia felt a knotting sensation take hold near his stomach, maybe a bit lower, which could only mean one thing. Russia quickly notified America, but that didn't stop him at all. Instead, America picked up the pace, pushing Russia further and further to the edge. Then he reached it. Russia softly groaned as he released into America's mouth, him not pulling off and intending to swallow it. When he did, he pulled himself off Russia and smiled, moving himself up and leaning his head on Russia's stomach. "I would literally die if you fucked me," he laughed, pushing his head further into Russia's stomach. Russia sat up and pulled his boxers and sweatpants back up before dragging America into bed with him, holding him at his side. America was obviously tired, having woken up maybe 20 minutes ago, so he didn't even bother with questioning Russia's reasoning and stuffed his face into Russia's neck. He chuckled a bit before he ended up falling asleep, Russia rubbing his back as he did so. Russia now felt comfortable in that damned hospital bed, leaning his head back to touch America's. The only thing that could have correctly ended the night, or started the morning since it was maybe 3:30 a.m., would have been a kiss, but Russia and America thought that was a bit too fast. They were both now asleep, and once again, there was literally no nurse around to see if Russia was ready for his ankle surgery. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow.